I lost my father when I was around 21, I think. And I didn't know how to deal with it. So at the time I was still hasn't I only started personal development. I had no idea of spirituality or what's not. So to me, death means death, like I lost someone physical, right? And so I dealt with it the way I knew how, which was how I dealt with breakups, which I wasn't exactly the most experienced at the time too. So I did allow myself to cry, but then I thought, yeah, but I thought it is as simple as that, meaning like I thought, if I just let myself cry for a month, I can get over it. So like I did allow myself that maybe 1 month or something like that to cry and everything. But eventually, I kind of move on. So I mean, so-called move on, right? Quote unquote, I move on. And I thought that was okay. I thought the wound is healed. It is done. You move on like the way you move on to the next boyfriend. Nope, that's not the case. So I didn't even know that because I didn't have the awareness, right? And it was until when I started spirituality, which is maybe, I don't know, a good maybe 10 years later or less, maybe 7, 8, something like yours, when I was already in the spirituality, that in one of the workshop that I was in, suddenly, I can't even remember what we are working on exactly. However, suddenly I had this like grief coming through and this anger from abandonment. So apparently what I felt back then was my father abandoned me. That's the story that I have. And I was holding on to the story that I'm being abandoned. I'm not loved. I'm not wanted. I'm not good enough, especially by men. And I wonder why I had such an awful relationship with men. It's like suddenly everything just like, oh my God, like this is what's happening. And what was even more interesting in the process is I realized that I'm also angry with source as part of this. So basically, I'm angry with everyone, including source, divine, God, whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of, I think, is like the turning point of the real grieving, if you may, that started. So from then, I did a lot of modalities, and part of it that really helped me heal is really letter writing, because it really gave me that space to say everything that I couldn't have said, and to have the response back in a way that I never could have the response. So that gave me like a sense of completion. Yeah, I wrote a letter to my dad. And then the second part was, I imagine if I'm my dad, what will I reply to me? Yeah, so I feel the second part is the completion. Yeah, the first one is just kind of release, right? And also what helped was he also asked us to write using the non-dominant hand. So we bypass the logic. It's not about having to be able to read what you write. It's more important to feel into the emotion. So that was basically, this whole thing is like that turning point. And then, it's not a one-time thing, right? So it was kind of like over the years, layers and layers and layers of healing. However, I know that I have kind of moved past the point of that grief when I realized it during memorial, like when we host yearly memorial. And so I used to feel like I lost him, right? So I will cry every memorial. And then there was this 1 year where I was feeling I'm celebrating him, like I'm celebrating his liberation from whatever suffering he has, and celebrating his new path, his new journey, whatever you want to call it. But this grief suddenly changed to celebration. And I was like, oh my God, this is new. So I felt like we are celebrating a birthday every year now. And it's funny because tomorrow we are going to host the memorial and we are having the conversation today.